On this special holiday edition of Destiny City Rewind, we're going to take a look back at 4 decades of TV Tacoma's coverage of Tacoma's holiday events. Our coverage includes the downtown tree lighting, Dale Chihuly's neon and ice exhibit, behind the scenes of the Gift of Music holiday concert, and the Nutcracker. First, let's travel back to the 90s and check out the Zoolights at Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium.
Zoolights began in 1988 with about 25 animal characters and about 150,000 lights. And this year we'll have about 105 animal characters and 350,000 lights. And if you were to string them all out, you'd have over 40 miles of lights. So it's a really big display this year. Probably the best way to describe Zoolights is to say that it's a nighttime walk through the zoo where you see lighted replicas of animals rather than the animal itself. But in spite of all that, probably the thing that's made us most popular is the purple tree behind me. This tree uses about 600 strands of lights, or over 27,000 bulbs, to create the brilliance that you see. It takes about 7 days to create, but it's really worth the effect. People just rave about our famous purple tree. We're really proud of the way it's come out to be a community event too. Zoolights is all created and built, constructed, and installed in-house, but obviously we couldn't do all of this with only the staff here, so we use about 2,000 hours worth of volunteer time to put it together, and then of course to run it we need about 14 volunteers a night while the event is actually running. It really is indeed a community event. The wonderful thing about Zoolights is that because the weather here is relatively mild, December is a wonderful time to see it, and you shouldn't really let the weather put you off. And in fact, it's a joke around here that when it rains, you get twice the view because it sparkles in the wet pavement. We just encourage everyone to dress warm. Another tip would be to come early in the evening and early in the week. If you come between 5 and 7, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night, I think you'll find far fewer crowds than you would on the weekend. And also, if you do come after 7 and need to take a shuttle bus, be sure that you park only in those designated parking areas where it says a shuttle bus will pick you up.
One of Tacoma's beloved wintertime traditions is the annual holiday tree lighting outside the Pantages Theater. In 1991, TV Tacoma's crew followed the tree on its journey from Joint Base Lewis-McChord to downtown Tacoma.
Tacoma's holiday torchlight parade and tree lighting ceremony is an annual tradition. But have you ever wondered how Tacoma gets its Christmas tree each year? Well, don't think it's an easy task. It takes the work of many people to put our beautiful tree into place each holiday season. And it all began because of our generous neighbors from Fort Lewis.
This really started 48 years ago when the general at Fort Lewis, it was during the Second World War, decided that one of the nice things that he could do for the city of Tacoma was really to donate a tree off of the Fort Lewis reservation to the city of Tacoma.
This process includes not only the selection of the tree, but coordinating a team to cut and transport it from the base to downtown Tacoma.
It started back by the beginning of October. We have to get with several different agencies, and we go out and select a tree. That's the first part. They always have the ceremony to begin with. They bring out all the You know, usually the general and members of the city council. And we go through after they depart. Our work begins. We cut the tree down, and it's not like your normal Christmas tree cutting, dropping. We got to take the time to actually suspend the tree and lower it onto the trailer without messing it up.
Then under a blanket of darkness, long after most of us are fast asleep, the tree begins its long journey, spanning 2 lanes of I-5 until it comes to its final stop, the corner of 9th and Broadway. But the work's only halfway done. Now comes the challenge of setting the tree up. And if you've ever tried to get your Christmas tree straight, imagine what it's like with one this big. And another thing, where do you find decorations to cover a tree this size?
The decorations are kind of salvaged from some things that were made by local school students, and last year Stadium High School put a lot of time painting and refurbishing them. This year we've got 4,000 lights, about 200 ornaments, and 360 feet of garland, a brand new Mylar garland.
It's through the cooperation of these people that we have a spectacular reminder of the spirit of this holiday season.
Beloved local artist Dale Chihuly's incredible glass art can be seen today all over his hometown of Tacoma. But in 1993, there was one installation that was only viewable at the Tacoma Dome for a few days before it melted away.
This is just incredible. And the thought that you can't save it and you can't touch it. It's just like music, it just exists for as long as you see it.
The project is really about transparency, translucency. It's about mystery and magic. It's about ice and fire. It's about a lot of things, and it's been a pleasure to be able to do this for the city of Tacoma.
You know what one I like the best?
Which one?
The one that's kind of like a castle. The blue one that's kind of like a castle.
After a while, you start seeing things that aren't there, like skaters weaving through, or waltzers just covering the ground between and adding new dimensions to it, or a wonderful, huge frozen waterfall in the middle, taller than all the rest. It just gets you going. It's wonderful. An opportunity for the public to be able to come in here and all of us experience it without cost. I think that's a real thrill for the community.
It runs all the way through. It's tight on that end.
To experience something like this, what would you tell somebody? You'd say, I went to see some neon stuck in some blocks of ice. That it doesn't translate to them. It's just incredible to watch the colors change. And the neon ceased to be tubes, and the blocks ceased to be ice. And they formed such wonderful, there's one out there that was a rectangle, and it suddenly, well not suddenly, but over and over the time, it became 2 neon tubes, and inside was a spiral, almost like a seashell. How do you capture that? I don't know. I can't imagine anyone even dreaming this up. Can you?
I'm just really excited that something like this could actually happen here. It's I mean, on the face of it, it's a crazy idea. I mean, when you first presented with the idea of ice cubes with neon in them, people just, I mean, the first reaction is, you're nuts. But as it turns out, I mean, it's a wonderful concept, and people just, it's a lesson in being open, and an opportunity to do this. The city was right there willing to do it, and they should learn from this. This is the way to go.
In the 1990s, TV Tacoma produced The Gift of Music, a holiday concert featuring local school choirs.
Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock.
Here's a retrospective look behind the scenes of the elaborate production.
That's the jingle bell rock.
We're going to be in there to warm up in just a few minutes. We'll warm up with a Mighty Fortress.
The church was built in 1916, and it was built to double as a community concert hall as well as a sanctuary. So it has done that for a number of wonderful concerts, and this is one that we feel very happy to be hosting.
Are you looking at a square picture?
It's fun to do it.
Well, let's get that other lens on you.
It gives you the Christmas spirit, and it's fun to do a few things at Christmas time that gives you that Christmas joy.
Okay, we're going to be wide on one here. It's a celebration of the talents of more than 300 young people from our community, in which they come and share with the public the gift of music.
To turn a television set on and to hear these voices, I think it really begin to bring into a home, so to speak, the joy of Christmas.
It's a very nice project, and it's a very good kind of thing to do for a community. All of these things which help us be kinder and sweeter to one another and feel better about ourselves are worthwhile.
Come over here and look.
The gift of music means they're sharing music with other people so they can enjoy it too.
Well, it makes me feel very special, and I love it. It's just great.
I'm really happy to be a part of it. I feel like that they're giving us like a chance to do something that we're like kind of important to, you know, and that it just I'm really happy that I get to be in it.
For me, I think the goal of the gift of music is to really get people to believe in kids again. I think that for too many years we've been bombarded by the media, letting us know that there are kids who are involved in bad activities. The gift of music demonstrates to us that there are equal, if not more, numbers of young people who are positively involved in activities and that have tremendous talents.
What shall I bring for the sweet holy child who has but the straw for our bed?
And these kids really are our hope for the future, and there is a lot of hope, and you hear that when these kids take to the stage and start belting out a tune. It's pretty cool.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
This one really struck us because we felt it gave us a chance to reward students for a lot of hard practice during the year. It gives them an opportunity to share their musical talents with the community, and an opportunity to hear them down the hallway, and wish I had the ability to join them. They're good.
So much of what society sees the negative aspect of youth. And for each one of these kids, they put hundreds of hours of preparation into this production. And these people that you're watching on the screen are kids that are future leaders in our country. And to be a part of that and to be able to personify that via this production is magnificent. I think it makes a tremendous impact on their lives, and they'll look back upon this for the next 30 years and say, I was a part of the gift of music in 1997, and wow, you know, what a win for the community, what a win for us, and to be a small part of that, I think it's great for kids.
decades, Tacoma City Ballet has delighted audiences with their production of the Nutcracker, and TV Tacoma has been there along the way as we record and broadcast it. In 2010, we took a peek behind the curtain to show our viewers what goes into creating this magical holiday tradition.
The Tacoma City Ballet's Nutcracker is an enduring holiday classic. The ballet performance spans decades of enjoyment for Tacoma audiences. Tchaikovsky's two-act ballet opened in 1892, and to this day you may find yourself humming some of the music in the car, shopping, or just around town. The Tacoma City Ballet brought the Nutcracker to the Pantages in the early 1980s, while keeping true to the costumes and sets of the original 1892 performance.
So we had to do a tremendous research project, and it was very difficult to find the information. But the Nutcracker that you see here in Tacoma is as close to the original as it gets.
Casting for the production starts in late summer, with experience levels ranging from none to professional ballet dancers, all with a Tacoma focus.
And they are people from our own community. So they come, and we have lawyers and doctors and college presidents who are in the first act of Nutcracker. So they are not dancers.
I'm involved in part because my daughter is actually one of the dancers. And we kind of got involved in the school because it's the whole idea that the arts are always a family, it should be always a family involvement.
We really try and include the community. So we do have live music with the Northwest Sinfonietta.
The Northwest Sinfonietta is a key element to the Nutcracker experience, featuring the combined talents of Northwest musicians.
Well, we have professional musicians who come from all over the region, who also play with other orchestras like the Seattle Symphony and the Seattle Opera and Pacific Northwest Ballet. So we all share the best players.
It's non-stop music from the very first note to the closing curtain that ties the Northwest Sinfonietta to this Tacoma tradition.
And so Tacoma City Ballet, I'm very proud to say, has always used a live orchestra.
And of course, along with the orchestra are the dancers that do include a large amount of young talent.
We have open children's auditions so we can bring in other dancers from the area.
With professional dedication and drive, young dancers push themselves as if they were ball players striving for a division title.
They take their roles very seriously. They come to rehearse once a week, beginning the first weekend in October, and we will have 8 performances at the Pantages Theater. So they rehearse every week. We open auditions for children's roles to any child who dances anywhere in the South Sound. So it is not only the children from our school that are able to dance in our Nutcracker.
From pliés to graceful glissades, all energy centers on ballet and the Nutcracker.
It's fun because it's in character and nobody sees you, so you're not that embarrassed for being, your wooden toy. But I don't know, it's pretty fun. I like it.
With a cast of around 150 dancers and performers spanning decades of holiday performances, Nutcracker becomes a family tradition, not only for the audiences, but with the performers as well.
I danced at Tacoma City Ballet from the age of 6 through high school, and then I went off to college, and when I came back, I have danced here since I graduated from college.
Nutcracker, I've done it since I was like 4, 5, maybe 6, and like every year I've done it, and it's just part of like who I am. I couldn't imagine not doing it.
After weeks of rehearsing, stretching, and keeping in character, the big moment arrives for eager holiday audiences.
You want to be in the balcony, this is the balcony area. Right.
And they come in and they just are so anxious to learn what their steps are going to be, and they want to get it right, and it's just a lot of excited energy, and they get it down, and they love running through it and hearing about what it's going to be like on stage, and it's a really fun time.
And with the precision of a space shuttle launch,
Beta Rich, stand by main drape out to Act 2 trim.
the Nutcracker is underway. dancers need to be just as graceful navigating backstage as they would on stage. And of course, Miss Erin, season after season, ensures the production is golden, from the first footstep to the final curtain call. After all, keeping a traditional holiday classic true to Tchaikovsky's work means you have some very big shoes to fill. And with seasonal tradition comes a sense of holiday accomplishment.
When it comes time for December to come along, I don't think of Santa Claus or that whole Christmas thing. I think of Nutcracker.